Sorting of array elements. So guys, today we're going to talk about another application of arrays, that is sorting. In my previous video we talked about searching of array elements. Here we're going to talk about how elements in an array are sorted. A sorted array is an array in which each elements are sorted in numerical order or alphabetical order. There are many types of algorithms for sorting. They are bubble sort, insertion sort, and selection sort. Now in this video we are going to look in detail about bubble sort and selection sort. What is bubble sort? In bubble sort, the elements are sorted and they gradually bubble to their proper location in the array. Now imagine a bubble in each array. Now this is the image of an array. Here, if you imagine, it's more like in the form of bubble. In this bubble, with these arrows we can understand that in bubble sort, the values are repeatedly compared with adjacent elements of an array, and it will keep on comparing till they are placed in order. So the bubble sort stops itself when there is no need for swaps. This is the easiest algorithm to program. So this is the program on bubble sort. We start with the header file, and since we're using the standard input and output device, we use using namespace std, and we enter into the main function. Now nothing is mentioned here, so we use an integer array here. So I've declared an integer array here. You can use any type of array. It can be floating point, or you can use character array, but here I'm using an integer array. We have to enter the number of elements, so we require a loop. So I declare the letter I so as to indicate the repetition, and I'll explain later why we use j. Then we enter the number of elements, so I declare the letter n. Then we use a temporary variable here. Why we are using a temporary variable? Now look at this example, 84 and 69. If I want to swap both of them, when I swap 69 to 84's position, it will override 84. That means we lose the value 84. So we need the value 84 here, so we can place it in the position of 69. So that's why we're using a temporary variable. So we can store the initial value to a particular variable, and when we replace 69 to 0, in the first position we can store the value which is stored in temporary variable. Okay, now we enter the number of elements, n. Here I've entered the number 6, and we enter the array elements. We use a loop here since the indices are incremented by 1, so obviously we lose a looping statement here to enter the array elements. That's how you declare elements in an array or initialize an array using a loop. Okay, now I'm gonna explain. Suppose let's start with normal looping statement for I is equal to 0, I less than and I plus plus. Okay, swapping takes place with this condition, temp is equal to a of I plus 1, suppose. So we get the first array 84, and that's in the next table, 84, 76, 86, 94, 91, 69. But look at this, it is not sorted. Since it's not sorted, that means we have to repeat the swapping. Here by pass I mean the first pass is finished, that is the first execution of a looping statement, that is meant by pass. We finish the first pass. Now we have to repeat a looping statement, and it can only be done by when we introduce the concept of nested loops in bubble sort, since we are controlling a looping statement with another looping statement. So to swap, we used I here for the outer loop, and the inner loop will be for j is equal to 0, j less than n minus I minus 1, j plus plus. Now why n minus I minus 1? It's because at the end here 94 and 91, it is almost sorted on when it comes to the fourth pass. We don't need to check the sorted part, right? So what we do is that we only have to check the unsorted part just to save memory. That is why we use n minus I minus 1 here. So after each pass, what's going to happen? 84 less than 76, condition is false. We go G plus plus 76 less than 86, condition is right. Like that, it's keep on swapping till we get the sorted array in descending order: 94, 91, 86, 84, 76, 69. I hope you understood the concept of bubble sort. Now we'll look into selection sort. Now in selection sort, the element in the first position is compared with the rest of the elements present in the array and is swapped and sorted in numerical or alphabetical order. Keep in mind, it is the first position, not the first element, the first position. Whatever element is present there doesn't matter, but it will be checking with the first position. For example, 45, see these arrows, 45 will check with 34, 45 will check with 57. Whatever element is present there, the first position is being checked with the rest of the elements present in the other position, and that way, if the condition is uh, fulfilled, it will get swapped, and in the end the array will get sorted. See program for selection sort. It's a simple program. It's the same as the bubble sort, just a slight difference. Here we enter the header file. Since we're using standard input and output devices, we use using namespace. We enter the now we enter into the main function void main. We declare an int. I have declared an integer array here. You can declare a floating point array or character array as per your wish. I have declared an integer array here, and for entering the number of elements that I have declared the number n. Since we have to initialize the array with each position of the array, we will be using a looping statement here because the indices are incremented by 1, and we can use a looping statement here so as to decrease the number of steps in the program. Okay, we enter the number of elements, we enter the array elements 45, 34, 57 and 22. Okay, now for selection sort here is that with the first position, each position is checked, right? Now I is equal to 0, I less than n, j equal to, and means we'll be checking with I, a of I, and here we have to check with a of j, that means with the adjacent element. So we write I plus 1, that is 0 plus 1 is 1. So we go for it. 45 greater than 34, condition is true, it gets swapped. Again 45 is checked with 57, 57 stays in place, but 45 and is checked with 22, it gets swapped, and we finish the first pass and we get the array 22, 45, 57 and 34, but it's not sorted. So to sort this, so we have to repeat the swap. We're going to repeat the looping statement by using another looping statement. We have to repeat a looping statement. It means a loop controlling a loop inside a loop. So again we introduce the concept of nested loops here. I loop is the outer loop and j loop is the inner loop. Now we follow the conditions a of I greater than a of j, and it will continue till we get the sorted array 22, 34, 45 and 57, and this array is sorted in ascending order. So this is the concept of selection sort. I hope you've understood sorting that I've taught today. Any doubts, please comment down below. I hope you've understood the topic that I've taken today. So this is what the sorting, how we do sorting of elements in an array. Thank you.